So what I'm here to talk about is crowdsourcing using your own crowd. This was a project I did last year for pnm.com. If any of you have been to pnm.com, this was our, let's see if I can see how I can use my new laser pointer. This is what our old website was, and this is the new website. We actually did a bunch of commercials internally to help get the employees excited about the process. We took our CFO, and he was a really good sport, and we hooked him up with an old Motorola brick phone, and we put him into a long hair with a mullet, and we had, mod 80s kind of furniture we had to do these different skits with and talk about what the website was. But realistically, what we had is we had this old website that was really outdated. It was a place you could go and see your bill, and then you could do something else 3 steps later and maybe pay your bill. We didn't have any kind of automated auto pay functionality. We didn't have any way to say what kind of outages are going on, a way to alert you when you had an outage or when power was restored if you had an outage. We had a whole lot of things that were missing. And what drove this is we started getting beaten up by the people that rate utility websites and said, you guys stink more and more and more. And we said, well, we got to change that to make us not stink so much and build a new website. So we spent well over $1 million to build out this website. It was built from scratch using, we didn't buy somebody else's pre-canned package. We kind of built ours using kind of really good tools to make things easier. Where I came in was, websites are pretty darn complex. This was all custom code. Our customers have all kinds of devices. Everybody here has a smartphone, probably. A lot of people here probably have tablets, laptops, desktops, all kinds of different devices. People use all different kinds of browsers to use the internet. We have all the Internet Explorer flavors. We have iOS, we have Android, we have Opera, we have Mozilla, all those different kinds of browsers. If anybody who does web design knows that those pages load very differently depending on what type of operating system you have on them. Plus, we have a little bit of a problem that New Mexico is kind of a diverse state. We all live probably most of us live in the Albuquerque metro area. We're pretty fortunate that we've got pretty much high-speed internet available to us. We pretty much can connect in at, probably 10 to 100 megabits per second. We got a lot of land out in the middle of nowhere. Those people pay electricity too. They may have dial-up. They may have, shared lines where response time is terrible. And if you have a page that's really cool with content, lots of really pretty high definition graphics, and it takes 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds to load the page, it doesn't matter how good the page is, the customer's mad at you. Because they're waiting to report an outage and they're being held up because the page is loading somebody's pretty picture. So we had to deal with that. We also had to deal with security. People want to use these devices from their Starbucks, from their house, from their office, and all these different things have different security protocols to deal with. The solution we chose is we had written we wrote close to 1,700 different test plans, test cases, but we really needed to test the system the way our users use it, at their house, in their car, using their various mobile devices. We bought brand new devices because you can't really buy used devices to test with. We needed to test with last year's model iPhone, 2-year-old laptops. And what we did is we wanted to try and find a way to do that, and so we came up with crowdsourcing and gamification. Crowdsourcing is where we get non-professional testers, my co-workers, your rate meter readers, your guys out in the field that work for P&M to test the website as beta testers. What did they have for IT training? Nothing. What did they have about how P&M works? They pay a bill to us almost every month. Hopefully they do. Some of them don't, and it gets exciting. But we use non-professional testers, testing on their own web devices and their own time. We didn't pay them to do this. Not like they took time out of their day. If they're out there reading meters, and that's what their day job is, to go out there and read the meters and not get bitten by dogs, they would test at night or on the weekends from their home with the goal to find bugs. Testing is typically execute these 35 test cases, tell me if anybody didn't pass. This, we kind of turn it on its edge and say, I don't care what you did, I'm only gonna pay you for the bugs you find. So we incent you through gamification is to give them rewards for finding bugs. It's very similar to Candy Crush. You know, you spend an awful lot of time playing that stupid little game. I've done it too. The goal is to find the little successes. Gamification is just that. And it doesn't cost us a whole lot. And you give away little, so I think my next slide. Benefits. Real world users, these are all customers who had P&M accounts. Real world devices, they could use their company equipment. We encourage them to use their home phones, their cell phones, their dog's phone, their kid's phone. We wanted to use every kind of device out there to get a lot of broad-based exposure. And they were more than happy to do it because you got paid if you found a bug that only existed on an iPhone 4, that didn't exist on an iPhone 5. Hey, nobody else tested for this. I found it. It's mine. I get a point. Real world connectivity, they tested from their home. We had people all over the state, because P&M has employees all over the state, do this testing. And the other benefit we got, which was kind of a subtle one, we didn't really tell them that they were getting it, but we got all these employees of P&M to get pre-trained on the website. So when they ran into people at their church, at their house, at a yard sale, meter reading, whatever it was, say, hey, what's that new website all about? They didn't say, I don't know, those corporate's doing that. They were able to sit there and say, yeah, I was on it, it's pretty cool, it does this really nice. Or be able to answer and say, how come it's not in Spanish? Yeah, that's a good question. Why haven't they released that darn page in Spanish yet? Because we didn't have time to get the Spanish page done until last month. But it gave us the ability to get all these free ambassadors. Because people know you wear a shirt that says P&M on it, they pretty much know you work for P&M.